Welcome to Time Crunch Game Jam, a fun little episode working on Dime. I think it's episode 23 or 24 or possibly 22. We will see. I'm Brian. I use he, him pronouns, and I run Dungeons of Dime, which is an entry-level publishing role-playing imprint. Lots of words. I make fun role-playing game content, and I am joined today by two really awesome people who work in role-playing games and help forge the new indie frontier, and are great, and I love them. First of all, we have got Nate Treme.
Hey, it's Nate Treme, actually.
Treme.
But it's all right. It's all right. Everyone says it Treme first. I am also known as Highland Paranormal Society. That's where I publish role-playing games and adventures. I've made games like Pearl, Tunnel Goons, and In the Light of the Ghost Star. And you can go to highlandparanormalsociety.com. I sometimes remember to update that website, or you can just look for me on Twitter.
That is very fair. I feel like I only just started updating all the projects that I've been doing on my website because I started this other project, which I'll mention in a second. But until then, like 6 months had gone past of me like doing stuff and releasing new updates, and I realized I hadn't touched my website because I hadn't had any reason to. And speaking of websites I haven't touched, Vi.
Am I a website now?
And we
come
haven't
so far in
physically
life.
interacted before.
True. Exclusively
So all
over
the boxes
websites.
ticked.
I am friends with Brian. My name's Vi Huntsman. I use they them pronouns. I have a editing line of work, and I also have a YouTube channel. I started a TikTok the other day too.
Really?
Yeah.
Media expansion.
Yeah, you gotta hit them all. I'm Collabs Without Permission on YouTube. I talk about role-playing games and other fun stuff. And that's me. I'm here. We're here. I'm also the editor on Vice and Virtue, which is what we're here to talk about.
Well, before we talk about Vice and Virtue, I also just want to say that Vi has a really awesome Patreon for all of their really cool content, and it's full of
It's a glorified tip
videos.
jar.
Yeah,
But
it's really great.
There is some really freaking good videos in there. I've started thinking about doing review videos for role-playing games as a review swap sort of thing. Not that I'm encroaching on your market, because there's another kind of creator I want to encroach on instead. But I just love, and I've said this to you before, but I just love how much your videos remind me of like bread tube philosophy essays, in just how enthusiastic and how much energy and the special effects coming in the side. I swear every single video gets better and better. And I know that I can't do that, so I'm like, talking hands video. People like those.
They do. There's a market for that.
So, we are coming today for a game time crunch to celebrate the end of my Kickstarter Vice and Virtue, where I have also made a game in less of a time crunch. I spent more time on it than just 2 hours, which is what we'll be doing today. And it is literally 24 hours on Kickstarter. It just got past £4,000 or $5,000. And that means, excitingly, I can hire... Now, don't quote me on this. This is just speculative numbers until, like, the Kickstarter tax comes in. I can hire 10 extra writers to come and do guest work on the book for little spreads. So 10 writers to come and do a spread each, which is about 1,000 words. And I can pay them 10 pennies a word, which is a decent rate. And I'll be able to like do that, and that'll be really cool, and it'll be great. And I'm happy that I can invite people to come and do work, so that's nice. And then there's also like all the illustrations, and it's got gold foil cards and all this other stuff. So, hooray! And I've always wanted to make some cool games. Now, I really just appreciate how quick and effortless your game writing is. So
Thanks.
It has a very strong flavor and aesthetic to it, even in the simplest of stuff. Like your Radical Quest was just a really fun little... I mean, how would you describe it? Was it like an experiment? Was it just a bit of like letting off steam?
Yeah, I was just kind of waiting for some things to happen at work and was doodling, and I doodled the little characters. I just was trying to draw little people as small as I could, and then I just started writing stuff around them, and before I knew it, it was a game.
That's the other thing. I really appreciate people's ability to draw like little characters and figures, because I'm good with objects and I'm good with buildings, but I cannot the little people and how much energy they give off of like shoulders. This is Mr. Shoulders or something. Oh. So we're gonna make a game, and we don't really know what game we're gonna make or game-related subject or thing. I know that Vi, you had an idea.
I have
that you mentioned
a couple
and then we
ideas.
never came back to.
Yeah, well,
Jealous
that
of
was
them.
deliberate because now we're on stream.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We might want to, I don't know how closely we want to stray to hacking one of Nate's games, but I was thinking about, I've had this idea on my mind for a while now about having a game where you use a coin, but you also use the words on the coin.
Mm-hmm.
So like
Ooh.
you like choose one of your words, and like one of the words on the coins, you find one and you say what it means to your character, or
Mm-hmm.
it like is something that you can use to give yourself an extra coin flip or something. And I don't know if that has legs, but that was one thing. And then my other one was playing as a troll that's putting yourself back together, because they can like, put their limbs back on if they get chopped off.
Oh,
So I was thinking about like, yeah, it's like a monster ability that but what trolls have in like modern tabletop games. And I was thinking like you're going around, you're like trying to find your limbs, you put them back on.
That is really fun.
That's
That
cool.
feels like it'd be like a deck builder, where you're like,
Oh.
you literally have like the body slot, and even the head can
Right.
come off, and maybe like the head comes
Oh,
with
yeah.
a personality trait, and you just have to like glue, and you start with like a random amount of limbs, and if you lose
Yeah.
all of them, then you can't do anything because you don't have any arms or legs or head to like move around with. So that's like how you lose, and then
Yeah. So yeah, you have you write up all these different body parts that all have different characteristics,
Mhm.
and depending on how powerful each one is, they're worth a certain amount of HP. And so
Mhm.
you have like 20 HP to spend to build your trolls, to put your body parts together. So you can either
Mhm.
like, or no. Yeah, so like maybe if you buy like a bunch of things that are like worth more HP, but they're not very powerful.
Lots
you
of
can-
fingers.
Then you have like, you're like all made of fingers. You can't do much, but like you have so much HP that you can take a beating. But like you
That
get like
remi-
you
it-
pick
it
like a
makes me
really
feel-
good brain. You pick like the really skilled things, and then like you don't have as much HP, but you have better parts that can do more abilities or something.
Mhm.
It kind of reminds me of those like memes that your uncle always shares on Facebook that are like, build your favorite Avengers team with $20, and then you've got
Right.
like the DPS,
Yes.
the thing, and we could be like the head,
Wow,
the leg,
our uncles
the
are into different
arteries. And then it's, they go along and then you've only got so much money to spend. So I love this idea. We could run with it. Any other vibes before we seal in?
I don't have anything really right now.
I feel like that's really cool. I want to go with that.
We can run with that.
All right.
We can run with. I
So-
like this Frankenstein character building
Mm-hmm.
game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do a little tweet about it. I want this to make
So-
a game about a troll.
Mm-hmm. So so you're building your body up. What is the goal here? What is the goal troll? The troll goal?
Hmm. What is the goal? So if we're using like you have this many points to spend kind of system, then the goal is kind of, I don't know, like building a troll, like that's the goal in and of itself. But then we could also have like a list of randomized goals that's like, and then you can fight someone else's troll, or you can
What if?
escape from something.
Okay, so what if there are quests for the trolls to go on, and they require you to have a certain configuration of limbs, and you're trying to fight each other for like a set pile of limbs or sabotage each other, while also having the requisite amount of limbs to go on this quest to then get more limbs.
Yes. Okay. Limbs as a reward for going on quests. I like that. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking gold of XP, then limbs as XP.
Yep.
Wait, I mean, maybe limbs as XP is a cool idea, where like you have a running point total of like the more limbs you cycle through, the more your total points go up. So maybe it's like a hang on, thoughts. So do you know those like European style worker placement games where there's a point track that goes up during the game, but also you get bonus points at the end of the game? And it always makes it feel a little bit like a mystery where like you don't know who's going to win, because you might know that someone's really ahead in the points, but ultimately there might be loads of bonuses at the end that like just blow someone out of the water.
Right.
So maybe like you have to like decide, do I want to keep this really good body part because it's got a good ability, or do I want to get rid of it because by getting rid of it I'll get experience that will then put me forward? Or is that too complicated?
I don't know. I like the idea of like multiple rounds of points being awarded. Unless we're doing limbs as XP, in which case it's like you could go on quests for limbs, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to what I like about this is that it's going to be a pretty minimalist or a pretty simplistic layout. We're going to have like we can have like the picture of the, you know, where it would be like the Avengers line. It's like these ones are worth this many points. Like we already have a layout format. This is good.
Yeah. Maybe so if we're doing like different levels of competition. So I've just seen a comment from Tom S. Martin who says bodybuilding competition, and that makes me think maybe there's series of rounds. And at the end of every round, there is a bodybuilding competition where the trolls have to show off their stuff, and that's how you get those points. And that's what you're going. So there's maybe like 3 quests per round, and you keep on playing until someone reaches a certain amount of points. And it's like you want to go on this quest, you want to do these things, but stuff happens. Or maybe everyone goes on the same quest, and it's like whoever finishes first gets the first pick of a certain amount of limbs, and then a second and a third. So there's no like someone's missing out on limbs. Everyone gets a chance to pick up a limb.
That's a little bit. I can't imagine how that would run, like running multiple things simultaneously. But I was thinking, what if everyone went on the same quest, and it was like the person who's running the game, their responsibility to kind of share that spotlight, and then at the end you would like reward, like the limb that you got as a reward was based on how you acted in the adventure. How does that sound? No?
So maybe we're assigning like party roles to limb slots. Like if you were the most helpful, you get an arm.
Right. Like you gotta. Yeah. Like, I'm kind of imagining like a Charlie Brown, like I got a rock. Like someone has like 8 arms. They're like, I got another arm.
Could you imagine like that? I think that should be the funny thing, is that you have like slots on your body where limbs can go, but they're not defined as like that's where their head goes. It's just that's where a slot is. So you could have 3 heads and 2 arms and be like, and maybe that could be like a synergy bonus or something, where like if you've just got 5 arms.
You have an arm multiplier for your score.
And if you've got 3 heads, then you're like, you can sing or something like that.
Yeah, you just talk about how you use your limbs uniquely. I think focusing on bodybuilding as like a core pun is probably good.
Yeah. Like now, like I'm now thinking of this kind of not as, I feel like beyond like the regeneration aspect of trolls as like a some sort of like Frankenstein flesh golem who's like you're going on missions to like your adventure is to hunt down certain things to get their body parts to improve yourself. It's a very it'd be a very, I guess, combat oriented game, because your mission is to go take a new body part to improve yourself.
Mhm.
And you could have like different missions is like, oh, we got to go take this wizard's brain and pop it in our spellcaster so he can do some more spells, or oh, we heard there's this great dragon slayer, let's go take his arms and put it on our fighter so he already has this dragon slaying arm.
You get like a Trogdor type situation.
Yeah.
So maybe the quests are like, the quests have a certain amount of things on them. So like it's there's like obstacle, there is a trap, there's a conversation, and then at the end you've got like the person whose limb you're stealing, and then like the stats of the limb, and then you've got like, that's like a quest card, and maybe you can take it in turns. Oh, here's a mechanic: whoever has the limb attached then has to run the next adventure because they're currently in surgery having it attached to them. And then you're swapping the GMing around.
Rotating GM, yeah.
And and then it's strategic because you've got to think like 2 quests ahead, like, oh, we want to do this next quest that's going to be really cool. However, if we're going to do that quest, then this person's going to have to run it, and they're not going to be available for the next quest, so we need to maybe do a different one, and it adds a lot of strategy to a very simple like thing. And maybe the goal is like you do a set amount of quests and then you try and get a high score.
Based on the limb scoring system that we have.
Yeah. And then it's everyone's limb scores added together. And you want to try and do it successfully, and have this work, but also how do I phrase it?
Like you want your limbs to be good for both completing quests and scoring.
Yes. So some limbs have a higher higher like bodybuilding score, but bad abilities. So you want to balance like high scoring, but also the ability to then continue the quest. Because if you fail a quest, then you lose. So you're trying to finish. If you don't get to the finish line, if you don't finish your 5 quests, you don't score. And it's like a quick.
I think. If it's gonna be quick, I'm imagining. Nah, throw that out. Never mind.
Or is it quick? Because it could be slow. It could be like session by session. Like each session is one quest that you.
I was thinking like I don't know. I was thinking like how many times does each person get to play? Like, do you do a number of rounds equal to like the number of players so that each person gets a turn to go? That'd be a good limit, because like I don't know. I've been thinking a lot about how people talk about, oh, games aren't great in their end game, and it's like, most people don't play for too long. So if you're like, play a number of adventures, like 1 quest for each person at the table, then it like makes it concrete and finite. And then like you said about the end scoring, you could be like that many number of quests, or whenever you feel like you're all ready for the competition.
Yeah. And maybe the competition is like a final. It's like 2 things. You're doing quests to get these limbs, and that's like some fun, quick encounters, story building, and shit talking. And then there's the bodybuilding competition, which is like an actual set of tests that put the bodies through a lot, and you might like lose limbs. You might have to work together, and it's like a random deck of events that you draw, as opposed to like the quest card, which is like 3 events of varying things, a person and a body, and just a set of those. Then you also have the competition, and you've got like, because like Thomas has just said, like beauty pageant, evening wear, swimsuit, personality, talent, and maybe like you've got to like you've got different things in those categories, and they just get randomly flipped out, and you've got to like you've got to defeat the bosses, the 5 bosses.
Nate was saying that oh yes, okay, that's awesome. I've been playing Ring Fit Adventure, and they like each set, like each body part is like personified by like these different trainers. So there's like Armando and Allegra, and that would be great if it's like a Pokemon style like champions, where it's like, oh, you have to like defeat the personality person and the swimsuit person, what you were saying. And I was imagining with what Nate was saying about like going and finding like a spellcaster so you can get like the spells for your wizard, like by putting the brain in the guy. I was imagining like that also like changes your personality. So now you have like a second head who's kind of annoying or kind of rude, and like you're gonna you have to think about the pros and cons with the end the finalist competition.
That is cool. So I feel like that's the game. In how we'd pitch it is like it's a troll bodybuilding competition where they got to go on individual adventures to obtain limbs, and then at the end of a set amount of adventures, they go on one final quest to the bodybuilding competition where they prove their stuff, and you get a high score. And the replayability is, can we get a higher score than last time?
Yeah, right.
So how are the individual adventures, like these quests, how do we resolve those? Like, what are the mechanics at stake? Because we've got bodybuilding points, which is like if you make it to the end of the competition, you score these. That's your high score, and that's a value that each limb will have. But what are the other stats here, so to speak? How are we quantifying success or failure? Because like Nate, you've had some games where you've had stats like for prol, you've had like just it's a brain, and then you just have squares that you fill in, and maybe with the limbs, like limbs just have a certain amount of stats, and if like or like each limb has got 2 stats, so like if it's the head, then it's like the brain, and maybe then it's like persuasion skills or something like that, and you get to just fill them in as you stick the limbs on different people. And
I like that. You can have a brain that is like really intelligent, adds to your brain score, and then one that is more for a charismatic brain. So it gives you a reason to have 2 different heads on. I like that.
And then you can have like a really I think let's stick to the rule of adding points, not subtracting. So we wouldn't have like say 2 arm, like an arm that's like no speed. So you take 1 away from speed and add 1 to this. It's just like these things add. So we'll do like the abilities added. Section here, and so do we want to use just like coin flip, or is it rolling a die?
Either way, I don't feel like die is more people are more used to dice, so it's probably one of the reasons pro is maybe not the best idea, is because people are like, wait, where's the dice? But but I mean, with the box check, the box could be an extra coin flip. A check box could be an additional die or a point you add to your roll. It could be any of that.
I feel like maybe so like this is not, I'm not thinking about the math, but maybe it's like D6 and you're trying to get over or under 2 as a base. Or for each point you raise it, so it could be 3 or 4.
Yeah, so or like 1. You maybe have like a D4 base roll. Check box makes that skill a D6 roll. 2 check boxes, and you roll like a D8 or I don't know, like a graduating die.
Or even simpler, roll a D4. On a 1, you succeed. On a 2, 3, or 4, you fail. And then for each checkbox, it's like 1 or 2, 1, 2, or 3. And then at all 3 checkboxes, you just automatically succeed because if you've got like 4 arms, you're like bodybuilding. So
right.
Yeah, okay. I like that.
But obviously, if you've got like all of your strength like checked up, then obviously you're gonna have like nothing in all the other categories. So if you go into like the swimwear competition and you're all like muscle and none of like the grace, and they're like, could you vogue for us? And then you're like,
You don't have very many points in Vogue.
Or like maybe have it like a D6. Like what you're saying, but move it up to a D6, and you have maybe 5 slots, so you always have at least one chance of failure on a roll. Yeah,
that sounds good. Let's do that. We're gonna do a D6 game.
D6 with 4 slots, because then you get up to 5 minimum, because 1 is always a success, and then up to +4 for 5 for a success and 6 a failure. Cool.
Okay.
I'm going to expand this canvas because I need more space. And so are we doing the swapping the GMing around and then sort of like a collective GMing for the beauty competition?
That's what I was thinking.
Oh, so one person GMs for the quests, and then for the beauty competition, people take it one at a time to do one of the trials, and the other players are the judges. So like if you're playing with like 5 people, then you've got like one person and then 4 GMs, and they're doing like the scores.
Yeah.
And so how are we quantifying?
Wait, what's the name of that? Was it Simon? Was it on America's Got Talent or something?
Simon Cowell.
Yeah. What if you had we could have like a short list of judge personalities, and then like at the end you're supposed to kind of like act like you're that judge, that kind of judge. Like here's your judging attitude to like give you some direction.
Oh, we got to write a talent show judge generator that gives like a personality and traits.
So yeah, that could be really cool. Go ahead.
I'm tweeting a very stupid doodle I did to both of y'all real quick.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Okay.
It'll hit y'all in a second. It might take a little bit.
What is the
Speaking of
next
Twitter,
bit then?
you can find me at Dungeons on a Dime. You can find Nate Treme at Nate Treme on Twitter, or is it at Highland Power?
At Nate Treme.
And then Vi Huntsman.
I'm a waffle bunny.
Because you deal with waffle, i.e., everything I wrote. Like,
is that a British phrase that I don't understand? The speed with which you looked up into the camera, like, how dare you?
So, thanks for coming for today's stream. By the way, I will be looking for a new editor for Vice and Virtue. Excited to announce. Yeah. The Resurrectionist Merchant. What's that?
Resurrectionists were the guys who used to dig up bodies and sell them to medical schools and stuff like that. So I figured you could have like a merchant that would sell you like low end body parts.
Ooh, maybe it's the wort from like Diablo 1, where like you can trade the merchant a body piece and you just get one randomly from the pile, but you don't know if it's gonna be good or bad or anything like that.
That was just what I was doodling when we first started. Not necessarily anything really relevant to the game.
No, I think everything's fun. This is a time crunch. We'll just stick it all on and hope for the best. So we've got judging attitudes. It's 1 player, rest GM, and resolving encounters. So I feel like with the quests that you go on, it should be something like we've got 1 GM, and I think it'd be really good if these encounters or these quests were like 10-20 minutes, and it's mostly just a bit of a fun game, so it's not worried about like mechanics or anything like that. So the role of the GM is to decide if you have advantage or disadvantage on the roll, or if it's just a straight roll. And the GM presents the problem, and the players then have to come up with some kind of, it doesn't necessarily have to be comedic, but some kind of solution to the problem that uses their abilities. And then maybe one person is nominated during the quest to make the roll.
Okay.
Yeah, or the GM calls on the most relevant person at the time to make the roll and gives the decision of like, oh, well, everyone had a really good discussion about this thing. I enjoyed it. There were some fun jokes. You have advantage. Or that's a cool solution. Let's see if it works. Just roll. Or, I don't know, that's a bit of a stretch, dude. Disadvantage. So it's just very, very simple. And maybe each of the 3 events in a quest have like a negative outcome. So if you fail it, you fail forward, but it's like, save the cat in the tree. Now all cats hate you. Something like that.
Yeah, I like that, because then if that happened to me, then I would, and like we got to the final round and I was a judge, then I'd say, okay, this judge is a cat person. They're like literally a cat person, and they can tell. They heard what happened.
Yeah. And they immediately, and when it comes to judging the competition, it's the opposite way around. So you only have one player who's describing everything they're doing to meet the challenges of that section, and the other judges are like, eh. And they get to vote on the majority. So if the majority are like, I loved it, then you get advantage. If the majority are like, I hated it, you get disadvantage. And if people are balanced, if it's like a split panel, then it's a neutral.
Okay.
And in odd groups, if it's like a 3 GMs and 1 player, then the last player can abstain to make it a neutral.
Okay. So what we need then is we need a list of some obstacles.
Mm-hmm.
Should we do this in like 6s? Should we have like 6 or like, because that'd be enough for like a decent table of 6 people. Like that's a good size. Is that too many, or is it not enough?
Well, 6 what?
So obstacles for like the final challenge, like on like the list of things that the game will need. We'll like make a list of like, oh, here's 6 example challenges that that you go on at the end in like the final competition.
Ooh, yeah.
Like, should we list that out, or should we leave that up to like?
I feel like let's get the structure of the adventures, because I feel like they'll map across, and then we can fill in what we need. So like with the quests, we have 3 obstacles. Are we having them all be the same vibe of obstacles? So like a fight and a puzzle and a talkie, for example. Don't have to do that, but like, are we having like hitting all of the boxes, or are we just like willy-nilly whatever we feel like for the specific thing?
How do you mean?
So like, you have to do all 3 of these encounters to get to the final person, because this is what the quest to get limbs, right? There's a final person who is a 4th challenge, so to speak, and you have to steal their limb, and you just have to just try and do it, and then you get the body part. So are we having set categories for each quest? So we have like quest 1, quest 2, quest 3, and each quest has got 1 fighting encounter, 1 puzzle-based encounter, 1 social conversation encounter, like the different pillars of role-playing? Or are we just like, here's 3 random things we thought are in Grognard the Wizard's Tower, and hoping for the best?
I kind of like that, because it'll allow us to get, because we want each one to be like filled with personality. So if we, like you said, if we have Grognard the Wizard, then we can say like, okay, here is the Wizard Tower encounter. Here is the fight for the Wizard encounter. Here's the puzzle for the Wizard encounter. Here's the talkie bit for the Wizard encounter, and then here's the Wizard.
Yeah, and I'm saying I feel like you have to do all 3 encounters, but you don't have to do them in order. So just whatever makes sense in the thing.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And then how would we phrase that last encounter with the person? maybe we just have some keywords about them.
Mm-hmm. I feel like we'll use that system like for how we detail the limbs. We'll detail the final encounters in the same way. Where like if we use if we have numbers with the limbs, if we have like +2 to this, +1 to that, then we'll do the final boss in the same way. And if we have like adjectives instead, then we'll do that. What do you all think about either of those? Should we do adjectives or stat bumps?
Hmm. I mean, if we're doing like a checkbox kind of thing, then so if that we would have to map the adjectives to those different stats that have that they check. Is that what you're saying? Yeah, I like that. I think less numbers is better.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Cool.
checkboxes for the boss. Maybe the checkboxes are actually the same as the limb that they give. So like the wizard is brain and swimwear, and it only has that on the sheet, and those are sort of like you have to beat them at these two things. Oh, that's it. Each limb, if for whatever bonuses it gives, you then have to come up with a way that you overpower them or beat them at their own game in that thing, and you've got to you have to keep going until you beat them, and maybe like each time you fail, like one of your limbs falls off.
So it's like preliminaries for the final judging encounter.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I'm imagining like if it's like if you're like, oh, we're here for this person's legs, they have these adjectives, and I want my legs to be more swimwear, or I want my legs to be more something else, then you could say like, oh, since we're fighting for legs, we might do like a race, or we might do like a leg wrestle, or something else that has to do with legs.
Yeah. What if it is actually a mini version of the final competition? So the final competition, each category has 3 different things you have to do to the 4 judges. For the bosses of the quests, they just have one thing you need to do. So it introduces that mechanic as you play, and then when you get to the final judging, it's streamlined and everyone's used to it, and it's not just like brand new version of the game. And so the wizard is like, if you want these pins, you'll have to race me, and then it's just like, wizard, beat them in a race, and they'll give you their legs. could you
trade legs? You might trade legs.
Maybe they're better in your hands.
Right,
or
right.
Feet.
God, that's funny. Okay, so then what if I'm imagining like successes as like hit points? So like you roll the d6, and then the wizard might have like 2 boxes, and with each success you get on them in the leg race, then you check a box, right? But I don't know how that would map to making it a group activity, or like if the other ones would be group activities, or
you choose one troll to do the activity, and then everyone else acts like then temporarily acts as like that the wizard's friends or whoever's there, and it's got a queue. Maybe they're like audience snooty wizard apprentices. And if it's like a fighting arena for like a knight, it's like, oh, you want these arms? You have to catch these hands. And the audience is very aggressive betting crowd. And then the people who are judging, the other players who give up the scorecards, get to act as like that single personality, all of them. And then when it comes to the final one, they get their judges' cards, and they go through all of them as these individual judges.
Gotcha. Okay. I like that.
Cool. So I think that's a format. That sounds like a format. So you get like a fight, a talk, a puzzle, a boss who has one activity, and it's quick because it's only one activity, so you only have to describe how you would beat them in the race, and then the audience judges you. So audience queue. And the other players then like judge you as they would in the final section. except that would be longer. And then win or lose.
With the consequences.
Yeah. So maybe like one of the consequences. We can depend it for each quest, but maybe like the wizard's like, you suck, and then they turn one of your heads. Like if you have a head, it turns into a toad, and you swap the lem out for the toad head. And if you win, then you get the legs. If you lose in the Colosseum, then they're like, if you have any arms, the gladiator chops one off. But if you don't have any arms, you run away from him. You're like, legs. Or something, and it's something fun and light and stuff, and it's just quick to work through. So that's the quest format, and then the competition is maybe we only need 5 cards for the competition, because competitions are like that. They're the same thing every time, but it's the variety of limbs and things that you have that would change how you would describe it. So instead, it's just got 3 activities that are the same for the competitions, and it's 2 to beat. It's like rock paper scissors. It's like best 2 out of 3 to win. And if you win your category, then your troll goes forward for scoring for the points for the high score.
Okay.
Is this getting too complicated?
I am a little lost.
Okay, so maybe we just don't have the bodybuilding competition at the end. Maybe you're just making trolls and we go back to the idea of just have a limited amount of quests, and then you go to the bodybuilding competition and you just score up.
Like a final stage instead of because I'm thinking like we probably would want the audience dynamic to be one or the other, where we have like either it's like party quests and then individual bodybuilding competition, or it's individual quests and then individual scoring. So like, because if it's like the rest of the table is playing the audience in both, I feel like we'd gain more if we had like a group quests, or if we just did it like you said, like we have these fun things for like an individual player to go on, and then everyone else kind of acts as the NPCs in the background, and then just kind of do like a very, very short totaling at the end. I think those are probably our 2 options here.
Yeah.
Do we want party of trolls, or do we want individual quests?
Thought.
Okay.
What if it was an individual troll that everyone was controlling because they were swapping their heads out? And you're all building the same body. And that's how you get people to take turns. And then that's why everyone else is the NPC. Not because their troll's resting, but because literally their head isn't on the body. And you're all trying to build this thing. And you have like the secret agenda of like, my goal is to have 2 arms. My goal is to have 2 legs.
Or like
and
you've always dreamed
in and out.
Like you've always dreamed of winning in this competition. Oh no, that would be like, oh, I don't want to like pit players against each other, because then it might be a little bit, I don't know. But I love the idea that it's like, okay, you're all training yourself, your collective troll self, for the final competition.
Yeah.
I do like that.
And then maybe the reason is because you all have to get your sleep, but for the competition you're able to stick all 5 heads on and like just go in. And then you're like, you've just got this amalgam body with like the 10 whatever heads, how many players you've got playing. Oh my god! And what if one of the limbs you can get is another body, and then you have like an extra 5 slots, and you just become this weird monster? Like you've got torsos for arms, and then arms on those torsos.
Oh my gosh, that sounds okay. Yeah, because you could. Yeah, it could be like a legendary limb is like a torso. Add 3 slots.
Yeah. And it's literally like, because I'm imagining these as cards that you can literally place down, and then the limbs literally go into the slots on the cards as this sort of like weird, gross mess.
This might be a little
Um,
bit too out there, but I'm imagining like you can like staple your pieces together. So like you get like the limb, you put it on there, and then you get a stapler and like
Wreck
click.
this troll. Yeah, or you could use like push pins, the split pins that you put in, and then you can make the paper dolls out of them, and then you can move the limbs a little bit.
Yeah.
But you could do that with the action, and then you could have this little at the end. You could literally have this like, I'm gonna put it on the fridge. This horrible mess of a troll.
Oh my gosh, that's great. That's great. It's like print and play. It's like just print out 2 sheets of limbs. You never know. You never know how many limbs you might want.
I love that. That's the catchphrase. Print out 2 sheets of limbs. You never know.
Never know. Okay, so we're having individual quests so that the other players think up challenges and act as NPCs. Right?
And then you have the final competition, which I think will just be a single random category, and then all 5 of you have to decide how you're going to make it through those challenges, and you get to like roll as a group, so to speak.
Okay, so then if you were to if we're asking where the replayability is, then it's you get a different final category next time. Like, oh, this time we got swimsuit, but we didn't have any legs. So
we kind of
we have to do right. So but like next time we make a different troll, maybe we'll get a different category and it'll be different challenges and we'll have fun that way.
Yeah.
I like that.
So we've got the mechanics of how the quests work. We've got what will happen in the final part. How are we resolving that mechanic wise?
I would say probably just the same.
Players,
right.
What I mean, like if you've got all 5 people, so to speak, who are the judges?
Okay, so hear me out. What if for like the individual quests we're doing we have like limbs that give you bonuses, but then and you have like each limb or like each category of action is increased by what limbs you have. But then in the final competition you can have there's like an overall body stat, and then your limbs are what modify your d6 roll. So you have to like have the entire limb only counts as a +1 instead of like it might have given you like +2 to like a. So you have like 3 stats for the individual quest, and then you'd have 1 stat which is like the body stat for the final competition. Right. So then it's like, oh, we want to make sure that the way we're describing our actions, like I'm thinking Adventurers on a Dime style, like the way we describe our actions, we want it to be like, oh, and I use this limb in this way. So that'll give me, I go from 2 on a d6 to 3 on a d6. And then I use this other limb like this way, 4 on a d6, and you try to roll your d6 to get higher.
So maybe we don't even have to have stats. It's just how many limbs can you work into your description of this action? That's an individual pip count up. And that's what the other players are doing in the single player encounters is they're ticking off like, yeah, I'll let you use that limb. Yeah, I'll let you do this. There's no advantage or disadvantage. It's just the other people agreeing like, yeah, that's a fun use of that. And then you get to, because you've used 3 of the limbs that you've got, then you get to get a roll. And if you get like 3 or below, then you succeed. And for the final competition, maybe there's because it's collaborative, maybe there's like each of the challenges requires you to have a certain amount of limbs in use. So it goes like 2, 3, 4. Or like to beat it, you have to roll.
I like the idea of what you were saying, best 2 out of 3, because I like the idea that it skews in favor of success. So if it's like, whatever final category you roll, it's not going to come down to a single die roll.
So what limb-based challenge can we present that is GM-less is the question.
What's the obstacle here? Like narratively or mechanically? You said GM list, because if it's like narratively, then we can be like, oh, we can just like list off, like have a 3-word thing like a swimming and swimsuit competition, right? And then it's like, oh, okay, we can kind of leave that to the table to decide what that looks like and what that means, and for the competing players to like decide like the phases of that, because if we want, like you said, because it's collaborative, then the way that we make that GM list is what if we had like a I'm trying to, because like I'm trying to think of like how you would incorporate everyone at the table participating. And I was like, if you had like if you get like best 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 5, so like depending on the number of players you have, you just need the majority of and then you have like one round in the final competition for each player. So like they each get to have a turn like rolling their d6.
That would inhibit like the vibing at the table of like, oh, that's a really cool idea. This just maybe bounce off of this. Like we're all still controlling just the one troll with the 5 heads on it for the final competition. So before what we had NPCs as the other trolls that weren't there because they were asleep, and you only had one head at a time. You've now got all of these other heads all there. You don't have any judges, so to speak. Maybe it's just like an honesty policy, like, hey, just vibe, make up some really cool ideas all together. So as opposed to being one person on the spot, it's everyone working together for a nice flash finish. And you just have to come up with as many ideas as possible, and you all just like judge. Because it's your game and you gotta have fun, and if you thought it was fun, then the end. Yeah?
Okay, I figured it out. So what you're saying, you said there's a bit where it's like you must use this many limbs, like you have to describe how you use each of your limbs. And so what we could do is we can say like you like pick, because you got like 1, 2, 3, 4, you got like 5 limb slots, right? And it says if we're rolling a d6, then you could hypothetically bump that up to like a 6 out of 6, but you can't. So you have to say like pick 3 out of 5 of your limbs, and so the maximum chance of success is 4 and 6. So like like there's still some it's more down to collaboratively describing it in a fun way. Because you already know your chances of success. It's like every single time it's going to be 4 and 6, because it's up to you to describe, like the challenge is describing in a fun way how you use those 3 limbs of your choice to give yourself that already predetermined chance of success.
And the limbs don't have stats, they've just got some really fun adjectives. Like extremely flexible, double jointed, smelly, and then you get to work those specifically in and make that a thing. And then so your 3 activities go up in difficulty by reducing the number of limbs you have. So the first is use 4 limbs, then use 3, then use 2 limbs.
Oh, okay.
And it's still 2 out of 3, but the idea is that it's getting more and more difficult, so you've got to like just really vibe with it. Or we could just be like use 3 limbs every time, and you've just got 3 competitions.
Let's see, 1 second. I wonder what the probabilities on that are, because like I was saying about skewing towards success, if that means that you're quite likely to get the first 2, and then the third one, you may or may not get it, and it's kind of okay because you already know you've won. Or like if you like miss the first one, but then you get the second 2, or you miss the second one and you're like, oh no, are we going to get the third one? Then like that kind of decreasing chance of success can have some interesting effects. So I wouldn't say immediately rule that out.
So maybe like 3-3-2, so that like it's half and half pretty much, 50% or like 55-60% chance for the first 2, and then it's like more like 40% for the second one.
So this is how many limbs you can use in the in this obstacle?
Yeah.
Like I don't kind of with this adjective idea of like having an adjective for each body part. I kind of like just letting people, if they can explain in a fun way how they're using this limb to do this. I don't think I would want to limit it to like use as many limbs as you can explain in a entertaining way, or in a funny, in a ridiculous way. Like I don't know. So like are we So are we? Do we have like a target number that they have to get? That they're using all these limbs to. I think I'm still missing on like what is the resolution mechanic like to overcome the obstacle.
Well, I feel so. Take a step outside of that. What vibe do we want to create at the table? We want a collaborative atmosphere because it's like everyone working together. Maybe there's no limit. Maybe it's just, and if you can get all of the limbs involved and you've all worked together, then you've succeeded. You've told the story and you've had fun. And so the encouragement there is to go yes and. Someone says, oh, we're going to use our smelly feet to really discuss the other competition and put them off their game. And it goes, yes, and when we're doing that, I'm going to use the arms to flex really hard at this judge. And you're all working together. And if you can get all 5 limbs in with some funny ideas, then you just get to roll and you've got like a 5 out of 6 chance to win. Maybe there's like 5 slots on the body, so you have a maximum amount. We always know you're only going to have 5 out of 6 things. And the quests that you go on are just... because you liked the sound of that limb, and it's all just like I thought it was cool. I just wanted to troll with 4 arms. I wanted a troll that had 3 heads and 2 legs, and was just like yeah.
Okay. I like that. I like that. I like the but when you're saying with the quests, I feel like you could like chase after adjectives as well, where it's like where you said about we go to that deck building core where it's like, okay, I want more legs. I want as many legs as I can get. But there's also like, oh, but like we like the whoever's head is whoever I'm imagining an illustration of like a head that's like tucked into bed, but it's like just the head. It's like tucked in, like nice and napping.
No,
so
God,
like
this is disgusting. But imagine if it was just like tucked into like a fatty neck fold, like
but you could also like chase after those adjectives, so that what you're doing is you're gathering your like ideal troll body, and you're also gathering the adjectives you think you'll use in the final competition.
So
I think this is great.
Yeah. Cool. So maybe like when your quests are laid out, it's a deck of random ones, and you pick out 2, and then you've all got to vote on which body limb you go for. And maybe that's another collaborative aspect where like someone's like, I want this leg, and I'm going to state my case why we should go for this leg, and there's a person's like, I don't know, I feel like a troll should have a head, and you're like, no, let's go for the leg. Yeah.
With which part of it? With the quests?
Yeah, with the quests. And then that's the decision-making process of like which limbs do you go for. And then when you filled your body out, or you filled all your slots, then you go for the competition. And that's how we can make it multiplayer. Maybe we have trolls that only have like 2 slots. And so it's two-person game, 2 quests, and you can decide the length of the game you play with like the different kinds of bodies you have. So you've got a body with 2 slots, which is really squat and long, and you've got a body with 3 slots, and a body with 4 slots, and 5 slots, and 6 slots, and then you can pick the length of the game you want to play. And at the end,
based
it's
on
the
democracy
head. Yeah. And then for the competitions, it's you've got to pick. Yeah. And then it encourages you to play longer games, because if you play a longer game, there's a higher chance you'll win the competition.
Okay, I'm gonna start writing this out, because we're at 11 o'clock my time now. We've got 50 minutes left.
50 minutes. So you're going to start writing out the rules.
Okay.
Those are what notes I've got. How about, hang on, I have an idea. We could collaboratively do it in docs, and I could stick it up.
Okay.
Right. How am I going to do this? So... Okay, hang on. Everyone, get ready for some live tech squishing. Right. Okay. Oh.
I have to catch up on chat. Cade is here. They are a good friend. Hello, Cade.
We appreciate you, Cade. Even though I don't quite know who you are, but I'm sure we'll meet in the future. Right. There's that. Then do. Oop.
What I honestly want out of this is I want people to have tons of fun, like drawing their final art, their final troll.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that'd be a good goal, is to have people like, I want troll fan art. I want a troll with 5 feet.
It's the troll goal.
Yes.
Okay. Screen mirroring to my thing, and then it pops up. Da, 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 da. I keep clicking the frame as opposed to the thing, but da da da. People can now on stream see us live editing the rules.
Hell yeah.
Oh, it says Untitled Document Goal, which I feel should be another role-playing game.
Untitled document goal. All right, there's a chat box in the video chat. I am ready for that Google Docs link.
Uh-oh. Hang on. Anyone with the link, it's gonna go to you. I don't know how I'm gonna get it to you. Hang on. Right. Go in here. Go into Twitter.
You're
Blah.
DMing it to me?
Yeah. I've sent it to you.
Hmm.
Because I'm doing this on my iPad, because I like typing on my iPad better.
Oh my goodness. Hello, chat. Am I here?
Oh, someone said this reminds them of that beautiful bodies, beautiful corpse, exquisite corpse vibe. Yes, there is an alpaca. Oh, and llama, sorry.
You didn't turn on edit access?
I thought I did.
It's that third checkbox.
Yeah. Share. Google make it more difficult every single time to like show this off. Right, okay. Troll bodybuilding competition. Hello, this is text. I'm sure people can see it. Are you in?
Yeah.
Are you in?
I'm not in. I can't. Oh, wait, maybe. Can I do it now? With
fellow. That's one of the trolls.
hello.
Ooh, something else. I've been seeing a lot of people do discourse about pre-generated characters in role-playing games, and if they're a good idea, and I feel like we could do pre-generated troll heads.
Yeah.
And they will have like a personality trait. So
where's the link to the Google Doc?
it's in the Twitter.
Oh, okay.
So Nate, while we're typing up the rules, do you want to make some... I'm getting a phone call from some spam. Okay, it's gone now. Do you want to draw some troll bodies?
Yeah. That sounds good.
Full time.
Short time. So the game is in 3 stages. So make your troll. Quest for limbs. Bodybuilding competition. And there are categories which are... I'm going to scroll up. Someone mentioned them at the beginning of the stream, which was very useful. Okay, beauty pageant. And evening wear. And swimsuit. Personality. and talent. And then each has got to have its own challenge inside.
And this is final stuff though, right? These ones.
Yeah. So this is the bodybuilding competition. Prove your troll.
Okay. Make your troll. I've got these 3 categories of these 3 stages of the game. Make your troll, test your troll, prove your troll.
So maybe we don't call them quests, we call them tests, because they've got to go and test themselves to earn these limbs.
Yes, yes.
So test format is combat encounter, puzzle encounter, and then social encounter. Final boss, prove yourself in a test yourself in competition, and get limb.
Get the limb. I think that a like preceding stage could be like decide which limb you're chasing after. So instead of deciding at the end after you've won which limb you want, you set out knowing that you want a specific adjective.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Yes. Agreed. And I feel like the limbs need to be, the body needs to be like a set size, and the limbs need to be a set size. They can like, oh my god, I just thought, what if like each of the limbs has an ability? So like hands can hold other limbs. You can stick an arm, like a leg, onto an arm because it holds it. And no,
I think there's definitely something there as far as like using limbs as weapons held by other limbs. But I don't know if that's right for this game. But I think that it's a great idea.
As a vibe, like tearing your leg off to beat someone with it.
This reminds me of the game Girl Underground. There's a construct archetype, and one of its moves or whatever, one of its suggestions is to like treat your body like an object. And I feel like that's very troll like, where it's like, just pull off your arm and then I feel like it's good.
You're in a chase sequence, you pull your head off and you throw it at the enemy and bite onto their clothing. You're like,
they like, there's that Scooby-Doo sound effect, like like tripping and falling over it.
Someone's just said you take someone else's arm and then ask like, why are you hitting yourself? And maybe all of the people you're going on quests with are also trolls. And so that's why they can give you their limbs, because they can take their limbs off and then stick it onto you. And it's limb swap. It's
I love that.
Yeah.
It's very communist. It's our limb.
I'm gonna say goodbye. Goodbye, Cade. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for dropping by. Here we go.
Here we go.
Okay. Let's see. I want I gotta think up. I think priority number 1 for these prove your troll sections is the pun names for the boss, for like the judges.
Oh yeah, that was a big circle. So it feels like all of them should have something dumb about them, and they also should have fun adjectives.
feel like we could make a whole game about troll swimsuit designers.
My God. Like you draw a random troll and it's just like a mess. This is the sequel game. You take the trolls you've made and then you have to try and design sexy lingerie for like the weird amalgam bodies. And you're like, how can a G-string fit between 3 arms and a neck?
Oh my God. That is, I do like game concepts built off of like more normal things. So being like a troll who like gets these ridiculous custom orders at your clothing wear shop.
Yeah.
That is very nice. Swim. So far I've got one of the beauty pageant judge should be named Moo.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Because that's just a nice name. And it's also a type of dress.
Maybe each quest has like a good limb and a no. I wonder if that becomes ableist to say like, oh, there's a good limb and there's a dud limb.
Yeah.
Nah, yeah.
For like, yeah.
We're focusing on the fun of limbs.
Limbs. So what happens if you lose a quest?
Then you don't get the limb. They're like, oh, you're not worthy. You're not worthy of of this limb.
Mm-hmm. So that can be one of the elements of the final challenge is that like you can include as many limbs as you want, but you might only have like 3 limbs when you go to the final challenge. And that can be some of the fun of it as well. If you're in the chat, please give us some bad troll limb-related pun names.
Indeed, indeed. Let's see. Okay, I'm thinking 3, 4, 5. I'm thinking about combining the evening wear and beauty pageant into a dressing like dress it up, you know? Let's see.
What sort of troll limbs have you thought of, Nate?
Limbs. Right now I just started drawing a troll. Trying to. Right now I've got one that has 2 heads, and then it's got one of its legs branches off. So kind of at the knee, it splits into 2 arms. It's like a very ugly sketch right now, but yeah, I want to try to come up with some. I want people to be able to know they can get creative with how they put their limbs together.
I think that'd be really funny if actually like it was like legs and feet, arms and hands, and so you could go on a quest and just have like a single hand. You're like, that's it. I don't need the rest of the arm. I'm fine. Oh, and you could get wings and tails.
Uh-oh.
There we go.
Yup.
This is okay. This is design bloat. We have to rein it in, Brian.
All I'm saying is we don't have to restrict ourselves to different normal limbs.
No, Brian. What I'm saying is Troll Goal 2. So
Kickstarter
we have
edition.
to Kickstarter edition now with wings.
Uh-huh. Right, okay, so exceed on rolling one.
David? Is there any is there a joke there? David. I want to dive.
Swim.
Wait the name.
Beach. You want to go to the beach? Beach? Sandy.
Okay. Yep, you got it. Dang. Sandy. Thank you. So I've got a question.
Yes.
Because we have to, I see what you're looking at right now is the number of slots and everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if we have our D6 resolution mechanic, then having fewer limbs available,
I did think about that.
really hamstrings you.
Mm-hmm.
And
so maybe the slots are the quests you go on, but ultimately they have pick the amount of limbs you start with.
yeah, and I was thinking like, is what I was thinking is when you're starting limbs, the only adjective they have is the name of the limb. So like you have arm, and so whatever you can use arm for, like that's that. But if you want like better limbs that have different adjectives, then you go on quests for them, and then they become more than just arm.
Mm-hmm. Thought on you don't get the limb. Maybe you can go to the competition at any time. So there's no like set length. But once you've filled your troll, you have to go to the competition. So if you lose a quest, you can just go on another quest for a different limb.
Oh, and you have to, but then the consequence then becomes that you have to come up with different adjectives.
Mm-hmm.
Because you tried questing for the limbs with that adjective, but you failed. So
yeah, so that adjective is now gone. That whole quest and that whole limb is now like in a discard pile.
Right.
So you'll never have smelly feet, and you'll just have to come to terms with that.
Trolls favorite dungeons are also very sleepy. I love sleepy trolls.
This is why it explains why you can only go on. One person can go on the quest at a time.
I feel like as I'm editing this, I will want to add lots of exclamation marks Exclamation points. That's what I want. I want that to
Yeah.
be the energy of this game.
All right. So should I be just drawing some trolls, or should I be drawing like individual body parts that maybe someone could cut out, put together? What's the
Uh,
or
I feel like people really enjoyed the push pin limbs that move idea.
Yeah.
So like we need some troll bodies and some separate troll heads, because you could have
Mhm.
the heads all then get glued on to the body at the very end for the competition. You've got your final monster, your final troll. So we need like different heads for personality cards. We need different limbs. Or maybe just have one limb, because ultimately you choose how many limbs you start with. It's not the bodies that change. You need one troll body, a variety of troll heads, and a variety of troll limbs. But for the proof of concept, we only need a few limbs, one body, and one head.
What I'm thinking is if we have like just a generic single troll head, and then said like, you decorate it with details that give it character. Like like each person gets their own head and they get to draw like a mustache on it, or they get to
Ooh,
draw
or like
like
bangs. You could be like, my troll has bangs.
yeah, yeah.
So it's like one generic troll head, and we just copy paste them. And maybe you could just like, they have like a single color background, and you can just change the color. So it's like a red head, the green head, the blue head. Maybe it's like Monopoly. You're like, my troll has a boot. My troll has an iron.
Okay. You are all sleepy troll heads sharing one troll body. Quest to collect amazing limbs and enter the National Troll Bodybuilding Competition. The rule is more the better. Yes. Hmm. Um, Speaking of like the language that we'll use for this, what do you think about using the word tags? Because Powered by the Apocalypse games use like tags, I think,
Yeah.
to detail things.
Mm-hmm.
Should we say, should we use the word adjectives, or should we call them tags?
I think we should call them tags. I think that vibes with me.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I think tags is good.
Okay, so we've got we've got like arm pun trolls in the chat. So we've got Footsie Lou, we've got Armold, Old Arm, Footsimus Prime, Grabby at Armson, Pamela.
Holy crap. This is
Talon Armold. I feel like Pamela gives me personality.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Pamela. Pamela.
Maybe it's a French name, so it's like per apostrophe Armella.
Yes.
So in the quests, what's the maybe like if you fail a quest, one of your limbs gets tired, and you can't
Hmm.
use it for the rest of the quest.
I was thinking like uh hmm. I think having like just a goodwill kind of suggestion rule that's saying
Mm-hmm.
like, if you use like try to describe using your limbs in different ways,
Mm-hmm.
um to say instead of limiting how often you can use them, because and turn the focus onto, instead of treating them like resources, treat them like things that you want to creatively use.
Mm-hmm. But that still brings you back to what happens if you fail a test, because there's 3 tests in a quest. What if you fail one of the tests getting to the person whose limb you want?
Oh, okay. Mm.
Equally, what if you succeed?
Hmm. You're asking big questions, Brian.
Mm-hmm. Someone
Yeah,
has
can you say
suggested someone has suggested Zach Fingerlicker. I feel like that's going to bring the tone of this back down. Trollkini, uh, Troll Hollywood.
Barm Stoker. I get it. I get it.
Okay, so Thomas has had a really interesting suggestion. What if you start with as many heads as you have players, and then you just swap out each head for a limb, and the player again controls that limb? So you start with 5 heads, and then
Mm-hmm.
that person is up. It's up to them to try and find a way to put that. But then you're who wants to be the leg? You're stuck with a leg for the rest of the game.
I feel like that is a different game. I feel like that's
Mm.
good, but I think it's a different game. Okay. The limb's name.
So maybe if you're choosing limbs, maybe just their tag is boring. If it's a starting limb, it's boring leg, boring arm,
Hmm.
or plain arm, plain leg.
I was thinking like just leg.
Mm-hmm.
Leg.
Fair, fair. Oh, I see what you said here. So starting limbs have 1 tag, but other limbs will have cooler and more tags. So they might have like leg and flying and glittery.
Mm-hmm. And then you combine it into like a logical sentence. So it'd be like glittery flying leg.
Yeah. So, oh, this is how failure happens with the quests. Then, if you fail one of the tests, then you have to find a new way to solve the problem because that attempt fails. You don't.
Hmm.
Do we even need rules?
Now we're asking the big questions here. Let me pull up Anti-Sisyphus.
Like, could we? Ultimately, we need some way of handling the problem resolution of.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so maybe the final boss has no test. Maybe it's just 2 out of 3, just like the final competition, and the 3 issues, the combat, puzzle, and social, are the ways of winning them over to get that leg.
They're like, okay, you have three chances to
Yeah.
earn my approval, get 2 out of 3, and the tests are collaboratively decided by the table based on the adjectives you're chasing after. So if you
Yeah.
want a fast leg, then like here's a puzzle that we thought up that has to do with the word fast, and that puts a lot of onus on the players. But I feel like we trust our players.
Yes. And it builds that encounter design skill so that people can practice it as a group and they can be like, no idea is too stupid.
Yeah, I like that. This troll adventures one phase of the problem. Describe how you use your troll body to overcome it. I love this wording here, Brian. Inventing creative uses instead of reusing old ideas. That is a perfect. I love the flow of that phrase.
Yay.
Because it's like something that I think about when editing is like is how phrases mirror each other a little bit. So like we have verb adjective uses instead of verb adjective ideas. It's like inventing creative uses instead of reusing old ideas, and it's like those verbs and those adjectives are they give a lot of direction to the person reading it, and that's encountered. That's information design, baby.
Does anyone know where the baby phrase came from? I know a lot of people who use it now. And I don't feel like I know where it came from, so I don't feel I have the clout to be like, baby.
I don't know if it has a specific origin.
Hey Alex, how you doing? I see Alex in chat. It's good to see you. Okay, for people that are just joining, Alex, we are making a game about trolls, where you play as sleepy troll heads sharing a single body, and you quest for amazing limbs and then enter the National Troll Bodybuilding Competition. So you get to like choose what limbs you quest for and what adjectives those limbs have, and it is a fun game so far, and I'm excited to see some sleepy trolls and get this going good. Fraser, what is the Potterless podcast? I have not heard of that before.
Feel like that gives me vibes of what's the word? Feel like it's one of those like my dad wrote a porno Like my dad read me Harry Potter, or maybe it's like Harry Potter fan fiction.
Potterless.
Fraser's telling me that he's used simple leg with me a lot, and I don't understand. I feel like you've said it, but I don't. I feel like it's probably just gone straight over my head. Fraser's really cool. I'm not.
Okay, because from the show, how you use your troll body to overcome it as many as possible because they were using old ideas. Randomly generated titles for this. Yes. Oh, for like the title of the game itself. It's like roll for the game's title.
Oh.
Oh, Potterless. Is that I know that I remember someone read through Harry Potter on YouTube, and it was like this person with a really dry voice. Really they had like this really nasally voice.
Yeah, I don't know what Powerless is, but there is the cartoonist Brad Neely did Wizard People, Dear Reader, which is the first Harry Potter movie that he just does his own audio track over, and it's a very nasally voice.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking of.
It's the only good version of Harry Potter, if I recall correctly.
Mm-hmm. Okay, wait. I got a better verb here. Brian, how about this will be train your troll.
But that's
Wait, oh no, oh that's the rule. Okay. What
yeah.
if
So
quest
this is
was...
the. So like, figuring out how to divide this. So I feel like quest your troll is collaborative. You're choosing which quest to go on, and then trial your troll is what are the 3 trials the NPCs decide they have to do. I'm struggling with how to describe the changing of roles or trolls. You might say.
I see. So for the winners, we randomly generate titles based on the adjectives that you used. Oh, synergy. As a group, pull 2 quest cards. Vote on which limb to pursue. Okay. Trollhead needs lots of sleep. So as a group, take it in turns to go on quest.
So like I feel
So,
like this is quest your troll. That's
choose a
like choose which
head.
quest you're going on, and then trial your troll is the NPCs read the. This is what I mean. Like the first of all, it should be NPTs, non-player trolls. So the NPTs decide which 3 trials you're going on.
You succeed by rolling a 1 or lower.
So I'm gonna set 2 terms here. The head and the body. Head is the player character. Body is the massive limbs that you have accrued. So the NPCs invent 3 trials for the body to encounter. And then whoever is controlling the body, so the head on the body is then part of the body. If you're not on the body, you're not the one controlling it, if that makes sense.
sharing one troll body. Quest limbs and enter the national troll body. Test your troll's adventures. When faced with a problem, describe how you use your troll body to overcome it. When faced with a problem, use your limbs to overcome it. Use as many limbs as possible, inventing creative uses of using all ideas. Resolve the test. Okay, as a group, pull 2 quest cards. Vote on which one to pursue. Have a good one, dinner. Have a good one, Alex. Have a good dinner. I'm stumbling over my words. I think this is going to turn out really nicely. Thanks for stopping by.
Apparently, Harry Potter and the Deadly Weapons gets a shout out. I don't know what that is. Again,
I don't know what
I'm
that
not
is
a good
either.
nerd. I'm not aware of a lot of media.
Well, Harry Potter's not a good. Oh.
That too. That too. Speaking of her, what good media have you guys seen, read, or enjoyed?
Ooh.
Hmm. What have I read recently? Oh, I've been listening to the Old Gods of Appalachia podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and that's on my listening list.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I just finished listening to the podcast The Turnaround, which is a
Mhm.
Maximum Fun podcast about it's a series of interviews with interviewers about interviewing people.
Oh, cool.
And they talk to like late night hosts, they talk to journalists, documentarians,
Nice.
tons of people. It's super cool. I just finished it and I'm like, oh, there's an empty space in my heart for that show.
Who is the
Mm.
host of it?
Um, the it is the person that's like in charge of Jesse Thorne.
Jesse Thorne. Okay,
Yep.
cool. I like Jesse Thorne.
Yeah. Okay.
I get what you mean when like the empty hole in your heart when there was something you were listening to and it has a definitive end.
Mm-hmm.
I was listening to it was a podcast called Talking About Race, I think it was. Hang on.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Let me look it up. Playlists. Not in my downloads. No, that's not playlist. I want podcasts. It began with a P. Podcast.
Hmm. Now, Brian, you make a reference here to limb cards, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
wondering if we should go even more freeform than that and say like as a group, pick a limb and an adjective, or like or you say like pick an adjective and then randomly decide which limb that adjective is attached to, and then you have to
Mm-hmm.
like quest over that limb. So you might coincidentally end up with another arm.
Yeah. And then you get to write that adjective onto the limb, and you get to maybe there are because we're customizing the heads. Maybe there's like just a random collection of limbs, and then
Mm-hmm.
you get to
Mm-hmm.
customize the limb by drawing on the card because it's print and play.
Yeah.
So it might be like hairy, and you get to lend this randomly assigned limb. You get to draw lots of hair on the arm.
Mm-hmm.
The podcast I was listening to, by the way, is I just got rid of it because I'm dumb. About Race with Rini Edo Lodge, who wrote Why I Don't Talk to White People About Race, which was a book that she wrote, and then it was really good, and so she did a 6-episode or 9-episode podcast series funded by Arts Council England, and it was really succinct and cool, and there was some fantastic interviews all the way through it. But there were only 9 episodes, and then that was it. And I thought it was gonna be like a 100 deep dive weekly podcast, and I got to episode 9. I was like, this is the last podcast, and I was like, oh no, I liked this.
Uh-huh. Dang. Fraser, I have yet to play Hades, but I do have a Switch Lite. So should I play
Ooh.
Hades?
Yes, you should. Fraser is speaking through me. Hades is a really fun game. All of the characters are hot, and it's got good replayability. I've beaten it. I've finished it, gotten all of the endings and the secret endings, and I still like to play it as like a fun little clicky through.
Mm-hmm.
It also has a fantastic dialogue system. I would recommend this for any tabletop role-playing enthusiast to read through it, because I legitimately think how they handle dialogue and the interactivity of that dialogue is a good example of thinking about characters and thinking about how characters should act in role-playing games and in tabletop role-playing games. Anything you do, the characters will have some kind of predetermined written reaction to it, and I think it could be a need to determine some interesting ways of figuring out how to do reactionary dialogue from characters and setting that as like content that people can read and then use in their games. I think it'd be cool.
I like that. How in the world did you finish Celeste? I'm in the space levels, and yeah, wow, it is very hard right now. I'm struggling. Okay, I've got I'm gonna read a bit from a free game called Dr. Magnet Hands, a game for 3 or more drunk people. Have either of you heard of Dr. Magnet Hands?
No,
No.
but I wish I had.
Apparently it's a really good entry level game because it's literally just like be drunk, eat pretzels, and tell a dumb superhero story. So, welcome, Dr. Magnet Hands. You play superheroes who must defeat Dr. Magnet Hands as he prepares to destroy Earth by firing his radioactive rocket castle on the moon into the White House on Christmas Eve. Let's see.
Wow.
Yes. Okay. Character creation. It says fold your paper in half 3 times and tear along the lines. So you've got 8 pieces of paper and write stupid stuff on them. Precisely what stuff is up to you, but by choosing things that fit into the categories is a good idea. So it's a I'm kind of thinking like what if we started the game by having people like write stuff on papers like they're like adjectives, and then you like put all the adjectives in a bowl, and then you like pick one out and you be like, or like you pick 2 out and then you pick what adjective you want and you like roll the limb. So it's like it's kind of instead of having a a non-exhaustive list in the game, we say like, hey, make up some fun adjectives that you think might apply to limbs, like smart and strong and hairy and sweaty and stinky. And small and large. Yeah.
So many ways it could go.
Mm-hmm.
Because like a smart leg could be like a digital, like a cyborg leg, or it could just be like a really brainy leg. Maybe it's got smart leeches. You've got some leeches living on your leg that are like getting my degree.
Yeah, because the physiology of trolls is completely imaginary. We can do anything we want with it. Yeah. Really smart foot. And, a knee that's trying to go to college.
Yes.
I feel it's important to have like, because you could make this anything. It could be a limb. So you could have like wheels as a limb.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Like a sled.
If my grandmother had a wheel, she would have been a bike.
What's his name?
Gino?
Gino, he's the cook on the morning show. Oh, he comes up with the funniest stuff.
This was my secret plan all along. I was talking to Brian about this the other day.
Divulge it, your secret plan.
Oh, my secret plan was just to make a game where that a conceivable title could be called "If My Grandmother Had Wheels, She Would Have Been a Bike." Because Gino, yeah. So if you can, yeah, okay, this is good. So I'm gonna add a build your troll section up here that says,
So I'm making a little rule for trial your troll. So whether the body succeeds or fails to win a limb, write the requested for adjective onto a discard list. It can't be used again. So whether you get the limb or you don't get the limb, you don't get to use the adjective a second time. So you can't be like smart leg, smart arm, smart bum. It's like one use per adjective. I've got a sentence up here. Everyone tear up a piece of paper and write adjectives, tags that might apply to limbs. Put the papers in a bowl. You'll use this later.
Use them later. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, quest your troll. Okay.
I love how this is transformed into something solid but significant from the original draft of it's the you got $20 to pick your turkey stuffings.
Yep. Yeah. Good point. Okay, we want.
Tail.
Tail.
Uh,
I don't know if this is a good idea because that just like it would make the game go on exponentially longer if we had a torso limb.
yeah, I feel like you've chosen how many slots you want to begin with.
Oh wait, I have an idea. It's the
Oh,
it's the replay it's the replayability angle. When you win the pageant, you get a torso as a prize.
Mm-hmm.
I just sent y'all some body parts that I drew.
Hell yeah, let's get those
They
up on
on the
stream. Let's see what they look
tweets.
like.
They on the tweets. Okay, I'm gonna swipe Twitter.
Yes. Oh my
Click on
goodness.
notification. So those are the body parts you sent earlier, and then is this a message?
Yes.
Yes. Google Drive. This is a multi-app stream, folks. Oh, cool. Little
God,
hook.
I love that.
I love that it could be a peg leg or a peg arm.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this so much.
So we are 10 minutes over. So I feel like as long as we just say that we've got 5 minutes left and we keep on saying we've got 5 minutes left, we'll be fine.
I've got a little bit of time left in me, so I'm good for
Hmm.
5 more minutes.
5 more minutes. 5 more minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
4 minutes.
I feel like with 6, it's not gonna be fingers or toes. It's gonna be like small extremity, i.e.,
Then
or e.g., fingers, toes, ears.
more ears. Okay.
I want to imply it could be anything.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I'm thinking of the trials you have to go through
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
for the different categories. So for swimsuit, I'm like model a custom swimsuit, demonstrate chest compressions if someone's drowning. Third challenge, or like
For swimsuit.
any of yeah for swimsuit.
Okay, model a custom swimsuit. Demonstrate chest compressions. Diving.
Really high.
See that? See it that's what brings it from diving to like actually something that inspires someone at the table is like dive from somewhere really high. Because if it's diving, it's like you think diving board, but you say from somewhere really high, you're like, okay, what
Like how
what kind of
high?
structures? What kind of structures or cliffs can we find?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Personality is get a cat to like you. Get a cat to sit on your lap. Tough skill.
Mm-hmm.
Help an old troll across the road. What else would be personality? Describe your favorite date. Of course, it's March 23rd.
What's your perfect Sunday?
No? Do you get what I mean? Describe your favorite date?
Yes, yeah. Oh no, I got your joke.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I'm so funny. Evening wear is another model one. So like model a designer clothing.
This is where I was thinking about combining beauty pageant with evening wear.
Okay, so what would our fifth category be?
Do we need 5?
No.
Was there a reason it was? Oh, because we need an odd number, so it's like best this many out of that many, like best 3 out of 5.
Yeah.
Or no, because it was
well, it's 3 trials, but
each...
yeah, this is just different categories. And to be fair, people could write their own categories. So we could have like it's the bodybuilding competition, so I feel like the fifth category needs to be bodybuilding.
True. That's a very good point. I'll add that down here.
No, I got it.
Okay, sorry.
Who's bodybuilding hosted by?
Bodybuilding's got to be Arnold, like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah, we'll figure someone else for talent.
We have got a new link from. Oh, have we got a new link, or is that just my phone's just being slow? We still got the same old troll lens.
Check the Twitter DMs though. I think Nate threw one together for us.
Yeah, I just put one together and sent it there.
Oh, yep, there we go. This is our troll. That reminds me a lot, that like face shape of box trolls. Have you seen box trolls the film?
Mm-mm.
That was fun. But also Dieter Lizzie, who did a lot of the classic Weird and Wild like first and second edition Dungeons & Dragons illustrations in his Spider-Rick Chronicles trolls. I love little it could be a worm, it could be snot, who knows.
Arminson. Thank you, Ezeker. Pamel Arminson. We get 2 arm puns in one. Okay.
So, how would we classify unique talents? Maybe this is just like the wild card. Like, you've just got to like on the spot decide your talent. Decide what your talent is.
That is really jiving with the idea that this should just be like a really plain name. Jonathan.
Tron, like Troll John.
Jonathan John.
Jonathan John Johnson.
Yes. Very nice. Arm wrestle the judge. I just saw arm wrestle the judge. That's wonderful.
That's good.
Like, that's in bodybuilding, but we could put that in beauty pageant. Vogue, yes, beauty pageant, you got a Vogue. Demonstrate sing.
What's the sing?
It's from Miss Congeniality. It's to stop men from assaulting you. It's solar plexus. You stamp on their instep. You hit them in the nuts, and you. Oh no! Solar plexus, instep. Nose, groin. There we go.
Yes.
4 places to hit someone if they try and grab you from behind. So I feel like you've got to do the sing maneuver, but it would be difficult if you've just got 4 legs.
Okay, I've got 2 things then. What if that was we gotta do okay. We already got arm wrestling. I was thinking like wrestling or self-defense or something.
Invent a self-defense technique that uses your combination of limbs.
Yes, invent a hold or self-defense technique.
Yeah. Actually, no. I said grappling, but I think actually just hold because it doesn't restrict as much. It doesn't have to be like a wrestling move. It could be like, this is my customer service voice. I'm putting you on hold. Or something dumb like that.
Ezeker says, what about the whole world peace speech? And I was thinking in personality, there could definitely be one that's like, how would you solve world peace?
Using only your limbs.
Well, like that's implicit, is that you have to use your limbs to succeed. So all right. 1 of 3. You have to get best 2 out of 3 in each of these. Okay. I'm liking this.
I don't really know what we do for unique talent, so I feel like maybe we just cut it.
Yeah.
He's dead.
Oh wait. If we're, I have something then. What if, because like I said about like skewing towards success, we had like, if you fail 2 of them and you only succeed 1, then you get 1 more chance where it's like okay, like bonus category.
So the 2 out of 3 is
1 round.
Maybe we can be like, if you fail a category, there's still time. Run to the back of the queue and join a different category. And you've got 5 chances. You've got like 4 chances to win each of these different categories. Or equally, we could have like wild card. if you fail to win a category, you make a scene, invent a challenge that steals the show.
That's what I was thinking, like with the special, like a way to keep unique talent in there is by saying like, it's like, oh, but you have like one more chance to impress the judges, do something unique with your, like, that only you could do, and and if you pass that, then it's like, oh, then you got 2 out of 3 technically.
Yeah.
Get by on a technicality.
Yeah, well, you don't say you've got to win 2 out of 3. You've just got to win 2. So if you invent one, you've still won 2. Yeah, if you succeed on at least 2 of the trials, you win the competition. Congratulations, you have the best troll body and show. I feel like we've pretty much got it. This is the game. So, backstory your troll. You are all sleepy troll heads sharing 1 troll body. Quest to collect amazing limbs, then enter the national troll bodybuilding competition. The only rule is the more, the better. That last one is, like, the more what?
The more limbs? I think that was supposed to be after this bit. But we might have to just strike it.
Dead.
Oh.
So build a troll. What limbs do you start with? How many? Starting limbs have 1 tag, the limb's name. Quest for more limbs with cooler tags. Everyone tear up a piece of paper and write adjectives, tags that might apply to... I think this needs to go earlier.
Before you start, everyone tear up, thank you, a piece of paper. Tears up a piece of paper and writes. Tears and writes. Thank you.
Adjectives.
All right. More limbs, more furious is right. Okay. This was made the international troll body competition. Each player has their own head, which they can use to control the shared troll body. I feel like that's implied in the first sentence. I'm kind of going for like mega terse on this
Go
project.
Go for it. I'm sort of like going back and forth and adding as I feel necessary because for other categories. For example, with Quest Your Troll, I'm adding a preamble to the before Trial Your Troll, Improve Your Troll to be like, why are you going on quests? What are you doing? And I'm taking some of that stuff out from like the Trial Your Troll. So like, this is explaining that troll heads need to sleep. So you choose 1 head to control the body of the quest. Make sure the each head gets done to quest. While the head quests, the other players act as NPTs. Non-player trolls. That the body encounters on their quest.
I've got a dumb pun here. I want to put the word in troll national troll building bodybuilding competition.
Oh, of course.
I don't know if it reads well though. In troll
Are you
national.
doing it like with hyphens or no? I put hyphens there.
In
Like,
troll national.
yeah, international.
The international bodybuilding competition, troll bodybuilding competition.
Maybe like to enter the ITB International Troll Bodybuilding Competition. Oh no! So International Bodybuilding Competition.
There we go.
Because then we don't have troll twice. I am going to be back in just a sec. But I feel like we're close to wrapping up. I feel like we've got the rules. We have got some awesome troll bodies from Nate. I feel like Nate, why don't you read through the rules with Vi and see if this makes sense?
Let's do it.
BRB.
Okay. All right. Backstory: your troll. You're all sleepy troll heads sharing one troll body. Decorate your head and use it to control the body on quests. Collect amazing limbs, then enter the Intro National Bodybuilding Competition. Before the start, everyone tears up a piece of paper and writes adjectives, aka tags, that might apply to limbs. Put the papers in a bowl. You'll use them later. Everyone also decorates their own troll head. All right.
I wrote that in the first. I moved that to the first bit where we have decorate your troll head.
Okay. All right. So the tags, the adjectives. What's an example of an adjective that you'd put on that? Are we talking like just like fast, quick, or are we? Because at one point someone mentioned using just like the names of the limbs also.
Yeah. That's what you start with is like, or that was the original idea is like, what limbs you start with, how many, and then starting limbs have one tag, the limb's name.
All right. So maybe we put something there about deciding how many you start with, because we just say how many you start with, because maybe people don't, because it's not immediate apparent like how it affects the gameplay yet. How many limbs you have. So yeah, choose 3 to 5 limbs.
So what is it? Because tests say, well, anyway, if we read on real quick, so quest for more limbs with cooler tags. Test your troll with adventures. When faced with a problem, use your limbs to overcome it. Use as many limbs as possible, inventing creative uses instead of reusing old ideas. To resolve a test, roll a d6. You succeed by rolling 1 or lower. Increase your chances by 1 for each limb you involve. Involving 3 limbs. Example. So I think that so the early game, we don't want the early game to be like, oh, I don't know how to involve my limbs. And so I'm going to be failing until I get cool things. We want it to be like, oh, I have to kind of make it work with these really basic limbs, so that we can succeed just enough to get cooler limbs. So what if instead of having the starting limb have one tag, the limb's name, we say starting limbs have like basic tags, basic or have, like, I'm trying to come up with a word that's like small, easy, basic, like a
yeah.
underpowered.
Basic, mundane.
I like that, mundane. And then we can say stinky. Um, um, Stinky. Stinky, usable. Soft.
You're muted, Brian.
This whole
I've been
time,
saying
Brian.
stuff this whole time, and I thought I'd unmuted myself. Hello, I'm back. Yeah, so we shouldn't use like as Sakura says, plain could be a tag. I feel like tags that are just like usable is such a good way of describing something. So usable, functioning, appropriate, plain.
I'm gonna put stinky at the end. Usable,
Yeah,
plain,
adequate.
stinky. Okay. What limbs do you start with? Choose your limbs, place them wherever you want. Starting limbs have mundane tags, usable, plain, stinky. Quest for more limbs with cooler tags. Okay, so this gives the people something to start with, so that when they're in the competition, the fun comes from getting cool limbs with cool tags, using their regular limbs with regular tags. Okay. Test your troll. Test your troll with adventures. When faced with a problem, use your limbs to overcome it. Use as many limbs as possible. Invent a creative uses of reason. Okay. Roll a d6, one or higher, involving 3 limbs, increase the threshold to 4 or under. Failure causes hilarious hijinks. Laugh with everyone, then move on to the next test.
I'm going to rewrite this. So, to resolve a test, roll a d6. You succeed by rolling equal to or lower than the threshold. Or lower than threshold. The threshold starts at 1 and increases. Because that way it makes sense that it's like it moves. The threshold is a thing that changes.
Your target number. Instead of threshold, your target number starts at 1 and raises for each limb you involve. Is that readable? Does that make sense, do you think, on its own, if it was just that?
Raises, yes. You succeed. Okay, so we say your target number, and you'll have a point. You succeed by rolling under your target number.
Is it on or under?
Both. On or under. You fail. Describe your cool... what's another word for success? Story. Describe how cool you are. And move on to the next test. And then you fail by rolling over your target number. Hilarious hijinks ensue. Laugh as hilarious hijinks ensue. Then move on to the next test. So that way, it's a very clear vibe. Like, this is the target number, it changes. You succeed by doing this, you fail by doing this.
Yeah.
Cool. And then try your troll. To get more limbs and become more furious, you have to go on quests. We just said you test your troll with adventures. Do we want to reuse the word adventure somewhere?
I'm gonna say, well, you could test your troll with quests. We could just call that instead. 'Cause I think we use quest more often throughout the rest of it.
Yeah.
I think this muddies the waters. I think it's good, but I think it muddies the waters. The and becomes more furious.
Yeah.
To get more limbs and become more furious, more radical. Crossover.
I want.
I feel like just to get more limbs, because then it doesn't say that having more limbs is good. It's just you have to get more limbs. Troll heads need you go on quests. You need to go on quests to convince other trolls to give them to you. Troll heads need lots of sleep, so choose one head to control the body on the quest. While that head quests, the other players act as the NPTs, non-player trolls. That the body controls. The body encounters on that quest. Quest or troll. Pick 2 tags from the bowl and roll to see which limb it's paired with. Vote on which limb to pursue. The limbs you can get are arm, hand, leg, foot, tail, or small extremity, fingers, toes, ears, for example. The body sets out to convince another troll to part with their cool limb. The NPTs invent 3 trials for the body to encounter. Pass 2 out of 3 to win the limb. Whether or not the body wins the limb, discard that limb's tag. Once a trial has been finished, that head is very sleepy. It cannot go on another quest consecutively, but it can go on to prove itself. Once a quest has been fulfilled, that head is very sleepy.
Okay, face the trials on the card.
So I think you kind of go on another quest. We're going to end that, and then in Prove Your Troll, at any point the heads may unanimously agree to have a nap, and then attach all of themselves to the body. They go to prove themselves at the national. They go to prove themselves at the in-troll national bodybuilding competition. That was a weird bit of collab, delete and
it
write.
Sure was.
Cool. Intro national troll building competition. Draw a random competition category and face the trials on the card. Collaboratively construct solutions for each trial and make a test roll. If you succeed on at least 2 of the trials, you win the competition. Congratulations, you have the best troll body in show. Ooh, here's a final end of the game line. After winning, graciously accept your gold medal and then give your limbs back to the community as a thank you for helping get you this far.
I'm stuck on the torso prize. I think having a torso as a prize is fun. What do you think about this? Graciously accept your torso. A torso prize.
Mm-hmm. I'm slightly scared that just becomes like a massive troll centipede.
I'm excited for that. That's what I want.
Imagine going on a quest and you find like an ancient troll winner who's literally just a snake. They're a massive flesh snake.
Oh my god. Oh my god. That's weird.
This is why I'm scared. And they have like one arm that you're trying to get off of them. They've got like 10 torsos and one arm. And they're like, I'm trying to get to nationals.
Dragons are just ancient trolls that kept adding.
Oh!
This is the deep lore. This is what we want.
So imagine, Chinese dragons are those long noodly ones and they fly through the air. Maybe it's just a troll and they're farting a lot and they're just like...
God, I love that.
Okay, and then the categories are beauty pageant hosted by Mumu, demonstrate your aesthetic beauty, wear the dress, don't let the dress wear you, and then Vogue. Bodybuilding competition is held by Armold. You've got to arm wrestle the judge, you've got to do a backflip, and you've got to invent a hold or self-defense technique. The swimsuit category is hosted by Sandy, so you've got to model a custom swimsuit, demonstrate chest compressions, which are a key lifeguard skill, and dive from somewhere really high. And then the personality competition is hosted by Parmel Armanson. You've got to get a cat to sit on your lap, help an old troll across a busy road, and answer this. How would you solve world peace?
Oh, I don't know if I like that last one anymore. That seems a little too. I don't know how if that's conducive to using your limbs for fun, for creative solutions. I feel like a lot of these really fit it. Wild card.
To pass 2 trials in a competition, you can invent a final 4th trial. For that category, make up something to win the judge over. But of course, use as many limbs as possible. Ah, yes, then give your cool limbs back to the community so you can choose to keep the boring limbs.
Yes. And that's insinuated that, if you play another round, then like you start with all boring limbs again, but you have more slots for next time. Getting cool different ones. You fail 2 trials, I'm in a 4th trial.
Oh, wait, this is a question. If you have more slots, doesn't that break the D6 mechanic?
Oh shit. Oh. But 1 second. If you have 5 limbs.
Because a torso has, if you win twice, then you're like, eventually you win.
Yeah.
You walk in with 8 arms, and they just go, just take the prize and leave. Leave in peace. We don't
like
want
a professional
any
showing
trouble.
Up. Yeah, it's like no professionals, please. What Nate was saying earlier about with the die mechanic was like something about like making sure that failure is still possible. So maybe we just make it add like a very short bit of rule that says, describe the limbs that you use to give you an advantage. Maximum 4 limbs. Like you can only describe how 4 limbs aid you, bringing it up to a total of 5 out of 6, 5 and 6 chance. Yeah.
So there's a line in Test Your Troll. When faced with a problem, use as many limbs. So we say use up to 4 limbs.
Yeah.
As many limbs as possible.
Wait, I got
a
one.
Maximum of 4.
I hate to do this to you, but I'm going to just turn this whole thing into a comma. Whole thing is just a comma now.
No one, no ending. No one can breathe.
Hell yeah.
Cool. I feel like we have this pretty much. So we've got the rules, and I feel like the only thing that we could do as like the Kickstarter DLC is actual deck of random people who own these limbs, and official categories.
Right. Oh, 1 second. I made 3 trials based on the prize limbs tag. Yeah, so the direction that we give people for inventing trials is make them based on the prize limbs tag. But yes, if we were to do a fancy Kickstarter gold foil, expansion, then it'd be like here's some items and some, or sorry, not items. Here are some limbs with tags and people who own or guard them, and the trials that they give you to earn it. But that's beyond the scope of this game. This is
Yeah,
this is
I mean, I've still got there's still 12 hours left on my Kickstarter. What I can do is go edit the campaign and make it Vice and Virtue and Troll Limbs.
Yes.
It kind of rolls off the tongue. It's got like a cadence to it, a presence.
Yeah, and troll limbs. It's important.
Speaking of Troll Limbs, Nate, do you have any more Troll Limbs for us?
Not ready yet, but I will try to upload them. Oh.
Gender is not real. Troll gender, no troll gender.
Yeah.
Trolls do not have genders.
Your gender is a head. You are a talking head. Wait, isn't that a bad thing in politics? Talking heads.
Is that a thing in TV? Vice, Virtue, and Limbs. Yes, Fraser. Yes. Plain. All right. Okay.
I mean, Talking Heads are also a band, but I feel like the name Talking Heads comes from somewhere as like a thing.
Yeah, it's like in a documentary when they just have somebody's head. That shot of just somebody talking is called the talking head shot, or it's like a newscaster.
Oh.
Yeah.
There we go. And I guess probably the reason why I've got it in a bad context is like the Talking Heads on the news.
Yeah.
Someone said it like that. Cool. Culture officially snapped.
Analyzed. You understand where that comes from.
Okay.
I do think that's it. I think that's
So the final, I think like we could upload this to a Google Drive and anyone could just have it. I feel like the final step, if I have the energy, I probably won't, is to like lay this out with the troll limbs in like a downloadable single PDF.
But for now, it could be beautiful art and edited words and trolls in a Google Drive folder.
Yeah. That was fun.
Yeah,
that was great.
I think we came up with a game that none of us would have come up with on our own. This is really cool.
I legitimately, the push pin idea is brilliant. That was in chat, and like I want a paper doll troll. And
yes, very much.
Yeah,
so.
I feel like with the DLC, you'd have like a whole bunch of different arms and like I can't get over this.
Yeah.
I want this troll to be able to hold another limb.
Yes.
Or even it could be multiplayer mode where it's then holding onto a hand and that hand is attached to an arm that's attached to another troll.
Oh my goodness. Trolls holding hands.
Mm-hmm.
Now
Okay.
I kind of wish I had drawn them all to look like troll dolls, where you're just like putting together.
Oh, with the big hair.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Maybe that's like the sequel is like you are a troll doll going on a journey. You can only use the things that are stuck in your hair.
Okay, so what was the name? Was it troll bodybuilding? I think was like the core pun. I don't know if is that a good title though? Troll
So I had
bodybuilding.
troll goal just because
You
I
have
like
troll
the
goal.
vibe of troll goal, but I
The
don't think it's the.
most
I feel like that
descriptive.
needs to go into the. I'm going to put that into the introduction. Your troll goal.
Mm.
Your troll goal is to collect amazing limbs, then enter the in-troll national bodybuilding competition.
Okay.
Ezeka says for the next stream we've got to be playing this, and I do agree that we should probably do some kind of like because we can put all of these limbs into Roll20 and we can scribble on top of them, and then we can just have a dumb troll game.
Very true. I think what we should really do is we should if it gets laid out eventually, we should just have a troll jam on itch.io where we're like, hey, make your own troll NPCs and limbs and tests for proving your troll and share them with everyone.
Oh my god, Fraser, Project Trollway. If it was more fashion, then I would go with it. Like maybe that's the spin-off where you're designing the bathing suits for the different trolls.
Do you know there's a game I think it's called Witch Prom. It's not out yet. I backed it on Kickstarter in like Zine Quest 1, I think. And
that's like
it's
2 years
like
ago.
yeah, it's been a minute. But the game is basically like, oh, it's like a paper doll game. You like design you just design some your custom witch, and then they go into like a party or something, like a prom. And I feel like that could be hacked into trolls. We could make it trolls. We have made it trolls.
I've looked up the bodybuilding glossary.
Oh,
troll aerobics, like aerobic, troll aerobic.
Arms race. God damn it. Limb. How about limb?
This glossary is not giving me a lot to work with. Has a lot of words, but it's not the thing. It's not a vibe.
I was trying to draw like a leg that was like a pogo stick, but I couldn't really get it to read right as a pogo stick.
Dang it.
Let's see. Charge this up.
Backstory. Build your troll. BYOT, bring your own troll.
BYOT, build your own troll.
Troll.
Mm-hmm.
Build a troll.
I mean, someone in caps in the comments were like, communist trolls, when I said that you have to give your limbs back. So I feel like communist trolls is also a contender.
Just sent y'all some more doodles.
We love
I tried to do the
doodles.
pogo stick. I tried to do a cannon arm and then some wing arms.
Oh my god.
They're very bad.
Ooh. I see what you mean by the pogo stick.
Yeah.
I feel like in context it would work. On its own, it looks like an eyeball on a sword.
Yeah.
I love those. I love them all. They are very good.
Asuka says bodybuilder troll.
Troll bod. Build a. I feel like there's a. Trying to think of like a pun that's like related to Legos or something, but I can't think of one that works.
Pick and mix.
Control.
Someone said control, but I don't feel like it makes a lot of sense because it's not like it's troll mind games.
Oh yeah. Okay, word find ends in troll. Troll patrol. No, that's a different game.
Troll
TROLL.
for a stroll.
Mm-hmm.
Stroll for the troll sounds like a troll cancer walk.
Oh, it does.
Oh, I just realized I just closed my iPad so I could look at stuff, which means obviously you can't see what I'm doing.
Words containing limb.
Liminal trolls.
Subliminal. I feel like that's the insidious element of like convincing other people to give you their limbs. It's subliminal messaging.
Oh my. Man, I feel like we have all done really good on this entire game. I think the title
Untitled troll game.
That's not terrible.
Arm and a leg, a troll game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm putting it in. Arm and a leg. Troll game.
I feel it's the best that we've come up with so far.
Courtesy of Nate.
I looked up words that rhymed with troll. American Oriole. Center for Disease Control. Negative magnetic pole. Oh, There's this. Phythylsulfathiazole.
That's a
Rhythm
stretch.
method of birth control, which is not very effective, by the way. Or vol.
Vol.
Yeah, troll vol. Maybe introl national bodybuilders.
That's good.
Control national bodybuilding.
Yeah. Because we've got that pun from you earlier, and it's worth at least one forced repeat. And then the bonus of that is every single time someone mentions this, they'll have to type out introl national.
This is a very, very good point. Okay, let's see what we've got. We've got Troll Gold Doc. Troll Parts.
Trollgold.com.
We've got a bunch of torsos, arms and legs, some heads that are pre-generated, and some blank heads. We've got some wings, more torsos and legs, a cannon arm, and a pogo stick leg. We've got backstory your troll. You are all sleepy troll heads sharing one troll body. Decorate your head and use it to control the body on quests. Your goal is to collect amazing limbs, then enter the In-Troll National. We got a capitalized troll and national. In-Troll National bodybuilding competition. Or do we want to do that? Or is it just because it's like the I is the caps because it's part of the pun. The hyphenation is in for the sake of the pun. Yeah, that's okay. Before you start, everyone tears up a piece of paper, and writes adjectives tags that might apply to limbs. Strong, metal, psychic. Do we like those examples? Are those cool?
Yeah.
Put the papers in a bowl. Oh, yeah. Yes?
I feel like I want to change metal to like another material because metal has that idea of like music, and strong metal psychic gives it too much more of like an OSR vibe, if that makes sense.
You know, that's true. Like, that's true.
So like crystalline or...
I was going to suggest laser or acid, but that doesn't really help with the...
We could change strong because I like metal because it gives the vibe of a prosthetic limb, and so we're not saying like which I love. So what if
flexible
metal? Flexible metal psychic. Do we want psychic? Is psychic a good one? It was just magic. That's too vague?
I think oddly specific always works better.
Yeah. So let's think of a specific limb. Like if we were thinking of like an arm.
Pyromaniac. No. What is a pyrokinetic? That was what I was trying to think of. That'd be too long. I was trying to get into a specific mental superpower.
So like flexible metallic, I feel is more of the metal composite. Pyrokinetic.
Yes.
So like it could be anything. It's not like that arm's metal, dude. It's got an arm.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, put the papers in a bowl. You'll use them later. Build your troll. What limbs do you start with? Place 4 limbs wherever you want. Love that. Starting limbs have mundane tags. Usable, plain, stinky. Quest for more limbs with cooler tags. Test your troll. Test your troll with quests. When faced with a problem, use up to 4... Oh, wait. When faced with a problem, use up to 4 limbs to overcome it. I feel like test your troll. One second. Your troll will be tested on quests. And so we're setting that up. Your troll will be tested during quests. When faced with a problem, when faced with a test? No. To face the problem, use up to 4 limbs to overcome it, inventing creative uses instead of. Describe how you use up to 4 limbs to overcome it, inventing creative uses instead of using old ideas. To resolve a test, roll a d6. Your target number starts at 1 and raises for each limb you involve. For example, involving 3 limbs increases the threshold to rolling 4 or under. You succeed by rolling on or under your target number. Describe how cool you are and move on to the next test. You fail by rolling over your target number. Laugh with everyone as hilarious hijinks ensue. Then move on to the next test. Trial your troll. To get more limbs with new tags, quest to convince other trolls to give them to you. Troll heads need lots of sleep, so choose 1 head to control the body on the quest. Make sure each head gets turned a quest. While that head quests, the other players act as the NPTs, non-player trolls, that the body encounters on their quest. Quest your troll. Pick 2 tags from the bowl and roll to see what limb they're paired with. But on which limb to pursue. If you run out of tags, everyone fills the bowl with more. Oh, thank you for adding that. That's a good idea. One arm, 2 hand, 3 leg, foot, tail, small extremity, fingers, toes, ears. The body sets out to convince another troll to part with their cool limb. The NPTs invent 3 trials based on the prize limb's tag for the body to encounter. Pass 2 out of 3 to win the limb. If you win a limb, you can add it to your body onto an empty slot or swap it out for an existing limb. Whether or not the body wins the limb, discard that limb's tag. Once the quest is finished, the head's very sleepy. It cannot go on another quest consecutively. Prove your troll. At any point, the heads may unanimously agree to have a nap, and then attach every head to the body. They then go prove yourself. Then go prove yourselves at the in-troll national bodybuilding competition. Draw a random competition category and face the trials on the card. Oh, card. We don't have cards. Oh, yes,
Trials
we
listed.
do. Trials listed.
Kickstarter edition, you get cards.
Oh, double space. You see that? There were 2 spaces there.
I feel like I need a double space, like, warning bell. Like, if I have a double space, the whole screen just starts flashing red, because it happens all the time to me.
It's weird. Yeah, it's such an interesting thing. It's one of my favorite things to find during editing is double spaces. Because I'm just like, ooh, I'm so clever. Collaboratively.
I thought you were about to say, it's my favorite thing to criticize about you is the double spaces. It's the Brian, God, get it together. Wow.
Oh.
No one else has this problem.
No, everyone has that problem. The worst is when I see it in a book and I can't tell if it's the spaces between the words because it's like center justified or whatever, where it's like all the way across, or if it's a double space, and I'm like, collaboratively construct solutions to each trial and make a test roll. If you succeed at least 2 of the trials, you win the competition. Congratulations, you have the best troll body in show. After winning, graciously accept a troll torso as a prize, plus 2 limb slots, then give your cool limbs back to the community as thanks for supporting you. Immortalize the troll body in the Troll Hall of Fame by sticking the paper model to your fridge. Beautiful. And then we have the beauty pageants. By Mumu Textileson. Extra aesthetic beauty. Wear the dress. Vogue. Armold. I want like a muscle joke, or like a bicep or tricep. Oh wait. What are the 2 bones in the arm called? The ulna and the
I don't know.
The Google.
Arms of the bone. The radius. Okay. Armold radius. Arm wrestle the judge, do a backflip, invent a hold or self-defense technique. Swimsuit by Sandy Waters. Model a custom swimsuit. Demonstrate chest compressions, a key lifeguard skill. Dive somewhere really high. Personality, hosted by Parmel Armanson. Oh, we got 2 arms. Oh, cool. That's okay, though. I like that.
They're like second cousins.
Yeah, get a cat sit on your lap. Help an old troll across a busy road. Enter this. How would you solve world peace? Do we want to keep this one? I think it's kind of funny, but I don't know how conducive it is to the play we're going for.
Mm, I think like how would you, I think it's silly to, and it's great because it's like how would you solve world peace, but only using your body.
Hmm. Oh wait, I gotta think. How would you use your limbs to solve world peace?
Hmm. And then there's wildcard on the second page, which is annoying me that it's on the second page, but whatever.
Oh, it's not on the second page for me.
I like that you can also read that as solving world peace, as if world peace is a problem for trolls.
That is very true. If you fail 2 of 3 trials, infant of
Oh
course.
my god. Just imagining. Like, right, so using my arm, I'm gonna go punch this dude called Franz Ferdinand. Baby, world peace is solved.
Oh my god.
Back into an age of war.
We all know things have been a little too peaceful.
I think we can all agree. If you fail 2 of 3 trials, invent a final 4th trial for that category, make up something to win the judge over, and of course, use as many limbs as possible. I love that. I love that very much. Okay, y'all. I think that is it.
That is a game. I've started a shared Google Drive. So I'm gonna take this and stick it into a doc on there, so long as I can find where I stuck this, because it's technically on my private like Dungeon or Dime one, which is why you couldn't get into it for stupid reasons. Now I'm gonna steal it. Oh, you've done that. Neat. Because I put the created by Nate Treme, Vi Huntsman, and Brian Tyrrell at the bottom of the page. In the footer.
Oh, cool. I can't see the footer for some reason, but I believe you.
No, I've made a separate document because I'm fancy.
Nice.
Neato. Okay.
Oh no. Oh
what?
no. Someone said Trolympics. Trolympians. That's
gotta change
good.
it. We gotta change it.
The Trolympics.
Oh wait.
No, I like the bodybuilding.
Yeah, bodybuilding's good.
Wait, so it's intranational bodybuilding, and you've got to go to the Trolympics. Maybe, or
I'm okay with enter the Trolympics.
Oh god.
I think if we put it in like the after winning the winner is the winner becomes a Trolympian. The winner is like the
Immortalize the troll body in the Trolympic Hall of Fame.
There we go. Thank you. Got to squeeze that in.
There we go. We can't leave. No good meme will be left behind. Okay, so this is another document, and if I just say like Creative Commons license, don't be a dick, that'll be fine, right?
Yeah. Copy paste it. Don't take credit. You're good.
Oh dang! Somebody just sent me a Radical West hack of Radical Quest.
Oh my god, cool.
Oh, nice.
It's such an easy game to hack. Like, it has a very strong template to which you can apply aesthetics.
I still need to read that one. I haven't read that yet.
Well, that was entirely accidental.
Wait, was it the handwritten one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, I did read that. Okay. I read that one, and I also read the one with the robot.
With the interesting trans, there was a cool hack of that was trans.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Evelyn's hack. Yeah, of the robot one. Yeah. Yeah, that was what did I call that one? Oops. I can't remember. Oh yeah, Mecha Dudes.
So Is it all right if I take all of these troll images from the tweeter?
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm going to copy them. Oh no! Okay, so it's a mechanic then. I've made it through, but the Resurrectionist offering you troll limbs.
The resurrectionist is how you get limbs from other creatures. Or no, that's how you get human limbs.
Ethically sourced.
Trans Mecha Pals. Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's the one that Evelyn did. It's awesome.
Hell yeah. Love it.
Okay, so I also love that. I don't know how this has happened, but the troll. Each image is a different file format. So Troll Parts 1 is I've never heard of this, a JFIF. It's your fifth.
Mm-hmm.
The one I sent you is?
Yeah. And then the second image is a PNG, and the third image is a JPEG underscore large. Which I feel is very much in the ethos of the game, because you're assembling lots of different things.
Well, they're all supposed to be PNGs.
Okay. This, I'm going to send the thing. Right. International bodybuilding. Roll national bodybuilding D1. And then all of this goes in there. And then this. Right click, we go share. Change link to anyone with the link can view. Copy the link, go to the tweeter. Hooray! This is the Google Drive.
We made it!
And I'm going to stick this in the chat on the YouTube. Everyone in YouTube, you can now get to the Google Drive with this game. It exists. It is dumb. We have done it. January 2021 will have the International Trollympic Game Jam.
I'm super excited. That is really good.
I feel
Thank you for organizing
drained.
this Friday.
Yeah, that's fun.
Like, I've just... Because for you guys, it's the morning, so you guys can get on with your day and have some fun. For me, I'm like, I want a blanket, I'm going to go to bed. It has been dark since 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm not a fan. I like the cold weather, I just don't want the winter.
What time are you on, Vi?
Mountain. I'm Utah time, so it's 1:30 p.m.
Okay, I'm the central, so it's 2:24 right now.
Mm-hmm. Brian?
I don't know what the time is. I thought
Brian.
you guys were still morning for you guys. It is 8:30. I am Greenwich Mean Time. GMT. I think that's it.
Beautiful.
That's the stream. We've done it.
Yeah.
We've finished. We made a thing happen. I feel like there's no. I don't have like da 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 da.
That's kind of nice. It's kind of nice. So we did it. It's done. We made a game. That's cool.
Yeah.
So I feel like we should reintroduce ourselves, shout out anything we want to do, and then probably just say goodbye. Unless we have any other pressing business to address, such as an apology for what it is that we made.
I'm Vi Huntsman. I'm Collabs Without Permission, and I am about to make a video go from unlisted to live. So if you want to watch that, just go to.
This is the perfect time. This is the perfect
hang
time
around
to
for
unlist that
22
video.
more minutes. Yeah.
I'm Nate Treme of Highland Paranormal Society, and I'm excited to have a video to watch while I finish working on some drawings today. So yeah, find me on Twitter at Nate Treme. That's Natetreme.
Ooh, it even spelled it correctly in the captions. I'm Brian. I run Dungeons on a Dime. My Kickstarter has exactly 200 backers, which is neat. This is my Kickstarter. People can see it on the stream. I'm just scrolling through it because I've realized I can do that. It's got loads of really cool gifts. Vi is my editor for this. I'm going to be able to hire 10 writers, and in my dashboard it says there are 350 people following the project who haven't actually backed it. So if like all of those back it, I could hire more people. But it's okay if you don't. I understand money is like for everyone. But yeah, this is Vice Virtue. It's got animated videos. It's a moral role-playing system that just helps you. I think Vi, you described it as really cool roll tables.
Really, yeah, it's like deluxe encounter tables.
The GM just gets to make deluxe encounter tables, and the players get to choose the direction of the narrative on the fly. Everyone's really happy. It helps you have conversations about where the role play is going, and it gives your characters more agency to be the people they want to be in any system. It's really cool. I hope you back it, or just tell your friends, or even just have a nice day. Like one of the three, I'm cool with, or more. This has been a really cool stream. Thank you so much for hanging out with all of us while we make a game. You can have it for free, and I will be retweeting it this month and next month. And we're going to do a troll jam. Troll jam. This is Troll Jam.
Troll Jam.
We love it. Anyway, I'm going to end the stream. That's bye from us.
Thank you all.
The awkward hand waving period is over. The stream is finished.